This new version of our SpamTitan product is an enhancement to our email security, offering you and your clients better protection through the latest antivirus, anti-spam and anti-malware technology. In addition to these enhancements, you also have a new interface designed for easy administrative use for onboarding and management of your customers and admins. To log into this new interface, all you need is the username, which will be st_admin at your domain. The password for your new interface will be the same and unchanged from the old interface. Click Continue to log in, as so. The page here is your landing page once logging in as your global admin. We call this the MSP layer, which is your new global admin layer where you can manage all of your customers. This overview page breaks down in different messages, presenting the amount of mails that was processed by the SpamTitan across all your customer accounts. This is further broken down into message types. All these settings on the global layer on this left-hand side are global settings, meaning anything you do here will affect all of your customer accounts. Some of these settings include your allow and block lists, which will be imported from your previous instance. It also includes geo-blocking, as previously seen in the older UI as well, and finally, pattern filtering. These will also be imported from your previous instance and will also include any content filters you had on your old instance. To reiterate, anything in this level will affect your customer accounts. So anything on your global admin level on your old SpamTitan instance will be found on this level. Any customers that you manage can be seen in the overview page under the customer accounts list. To go into a customer account, you can either click the eye icon under the Actions table, or you can click the customer account on the drop-down menu in the top left-hand corner. This will take you into the customer admin level, the layer below your global admin or MSP level. Much like on the MSP level, there is a basic overview of the mail flow with regards to messages processed and the further breakdown of message type. Further down the overview page, you will have a table with all your domains on this customer account. This is where you specify what domains you would like to be filtered by the SpamTitan. These will also be imported from your old instance into each relevant customer account. To add a new domain, you simply click Add Domain and fill in the requirements here in this box, very similar to the old previous UI. Here, the customer can also specify whether they want to disable RBL checks, SPF checks, grey listing, or recipient verification, even when it's enabled on the global level. Admins can also make more custom changes on a per domain level. You can do this by clicking the eye icon under a domain. This layer will offer the exact same settings as the customer admin level and your global admin level, making the newer UI more intuitive, allowing more granular settings. Any changes made on this level will only be on a per domain basis. We also present a list of users protected by SpamTitan on this domain, as well as by clicking Domain Configuration, you can review any previous settings added and send a test email to the mail server in question. It also has its own allow lists. You can tell this based on the domain name on the top left-hand corner, meaning anything that is entered onto this allow and block list will only affect the domain banana.com in this case. Now, Let's take a look at all of our policies. Let's click on the drop-down menu and click All Domains. This brings me back to the customer admin level. Let's click on Policies, and this will show me the list of domain policies under the customer admin account. Same as the old UI, the domain policy consists of the same settings: spam, virus, banned, archive, and also quarantine reports. And I can do this by clicking Actions and going into the specific domain policy. Any changes I make, I just click Save Changes. Let's take a look at the quarantine. These settings are the same on each layer of your new SpamTitan instance. All users, customer admins, and global admins can check on messages in the quarantine and take appropriate actions with them. Customer admins will only be able to see messages in the quarantine for their domains. Similarly to users will only be able to see messages in their own quarantine addressed to them. The quarantine is searchable back a certain number of days, and if archive mail is on, anything in the quarantine will be accessed for at least 14 days. You can do a search in the quarantine, have your search parameters in here, click Apply for a much more granular search. Note, you can also specify what table columns you can also have displayed by clicking on this button here on the right-hand corner. Similarly to the old UI, you can delete, forward, release, or allow an email from the quarantine. Now, let's take a look at the history. Similarly, every layer has its own history level. A global admin can see the history across all its customer accounts, and a customer admin can see a history of all of the domains on the account. Similar to the quarantine, you have a search function where you can enter in specific searching parameters, click Apply to have a more granular search. To view a message, you just come to the eye icon on a specific message under Actions. This will present to you the details of that message. If I go to a message that was blocked by SpamTitan, I can also release or allow from the history too. Finally, let's go to the reporting. Each level has a reporting section, all focused on the customers. Let's go back into another customer account and go to the reporting suite. Here you can see we have an area for scheduled reports. You would continue to have scheduled reports as the previous SpamTitan instance, and you can generate this on a per customer level. The additional feature we have added in is an on-demand report. You can now generate your quarantine reports with the click of a button from the UI. This allows an admin to generate a report on a whim, as well as receiving the same quarantine reports on a regular basis. There is also an option to archive these reports. One final note for the new UI and the migration itself. Your current SpamTitan private cloud will stay up and accessible for a period of time after you've migrated into Skellig. This set period is to determine by the length of your quarantine retention period. Please note that history and quarantine are not migrated over. After this period has elapsed, we will power down the private cloud.